What's going on, guys? My name's Tyler. This is Seth.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be the TNS Racing Podcast. Me and Seth decided, we kind of spend a lot of our breaks at HRP together. We've been talking about this for a little bit.
We pick our brains.
Yeah.
We pick each other's brains.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. We're going to kind of tell you guys what this entire podcast is going to be about towards the end of the video. But we're probably going to get right into it and just kind of start with our little bit of a format that we have discussed, and we're going to try it out. So we're going to go first with Seth. He's going to talk about the race of the night. So we kind of watched some races over the weekend.
Yes,
and
we did.
We kind of discussed on what we thought might have been the race of the night. Seth kind of came with the executive decision on what we thought was the best one.
I think we kind of talked about it too a little bit at work, kind of refreshed our brains with some of the highlights. The race of the night was night one at Kokomo with the USAC National Midgets. The top three, Jacob Denny, Justin Grant, and I believe Boxwell as well.
Yep.
The top three, they were just going at it was an insane top three battle. I mean, Jacob Denny came back from, I think, far back in the pack. We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
But he was just on a tear. He was on a tear. That was probably one of the most amazing midget races I've seen at Kokomo that I've watched. So that was probably my night of the
Yeah, I think Kokomo always creates good racing. It gets real wide.
Yes.
And with the midgets, they're able to run in there real hard, and they're able to slide each other and kind of play a momentum game there.
Yeah.
And there's multiple lines that you're able to kind of build momentum off of.
And it seemed pretty tacky. It didn't seem like it dusted up pretty much. So it looked pretty fast. It seemed a little ruddy too. When I watched it, it looked pretty ruddy down low. But they were getting some good angles coming from up top, down low.
Yeah, they like to do a little bit of a diamond move there.
Yeah.
And from what we watched, and we'll talk about it towards the end with our hard luck guy, but it seemed to be a little rough and treacherous for some people. But we discussed that was probably going to be the race of the night and kind of the race that we decided was going to be the best from the weekend.
Yes.
So we have some drivers of the nights. We watched some of those races, Outlaws at Knoxville.
Yes, sir.
Some USAC midgets and whatnot. One of the drivers that we discussed was probably going to be the driver of the night for the Outlaws was Donnie Schatz. Donnie's been on a move lately.
Oh yeah,
He's been moving along in that CJB car. They've been knocking out some good finishes, and he's been on the move. Donnie's always pretty fast at Knoxville, and although they didn't necessarily get probably the greatest start to the night that they wanted, he was able to pass some cars, which we'll talk about here in a minute.
Strong.
Yeah, so he's definitely one of the drivers of the night, especially for the weekend. He was very strong this weekend.
For the midgets, it was for the driver of the night was Jacob Denny in the midgets. I think he started 19th, and he ended up finishing third. So he ended up moving up a big amount.
Yeah.
And the way he was driving like it was the easiest thing in the world. I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched Jacob Denny in the midgets, but it was like another master behind the wheel, almost like a Kyle Larson almost. Not really comparing him to Kyle Larson, but like it was almost to the point. It was a master.
It'd be cool to see where he can take that, because a lot of those guys, Michael Buddy Kofoid used to be in the midget, Christopher Bell, all those guys, Rico's ran a midget, all of those guys who have kind of been fast and have grown into sprint cars and moving up non-wing, have all seem to kind of have success in the midget deal.
They all kind of put that like they're like themselves of like they're part of the car. Like they put themselves like okay, I'm a part of this. Let's take it up a notch. Let's keep it going. Let's just keep the momentum going, and I feel like that's what they do a lot when they're in that scene.
So we were talking as well. We've been watching some drivers that have been kind of standing out, and one of which we discussed, JJ Hickel.
Oh yeah.
He is in that Morrow Motorsports 2M car, which that car has always been fast at Knoxville. They've had a couple championships, a lot of wins over there. Their car always seems to be ripping the bottom. He went fast time in his qualifying group with the Outlaws against everyone.
He never left the bottom.
No, and that car was just stuck. JJ's a really good personality in sprint car racing, a really down-to-earth guy. I've been able to have a few conversations with him, and he's definitely a driver to watch. If he can stay in some nice equipment, I think that he's going to be somebody that,
really to watch for.
Is going to be able to knock off a couple of W's here in the 2026 season.
He's able to do it. He's capable. He's got the motor. He's got the car. He's got the equipment for it. He can do it.
Yeah, their team is definitely one of the best. So it'll be cool to see where they're able to go from there. We have a couple of hard chargers. I'll go with the first one. Being on Friday night with the Outlaws, it was Sheldon. Sheldon's, I guess I've seen him be kind of hit or miss at Knoxville a little bit. They can create some speed in the feature, and he was able to do that on Friday night and pass some cars. You kind of hope that he does that with their package that they have with the Morrison motors. And those Maxim chassis, they got a pretty good power plant in that thing. So you'd probably see them charge forward at a big half mile that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My hard charger was Jacob Denny with plus 16. I mean, coming from the back of the pack like that and driving the way he did, it was unbelievable. He was putting the car places where I wouldn't think I would put the race car, like even my wingless. No way in heck I would do that. He was looking for blood, or he was looking for a win. He was looking for it, but I think he just ran out of time and he just couldn't do it in time. But he had one of the drives of the night.
Yeah. Another hard charger that we had was Donnie Schatz. So we kind of talked about him earlier on being a driver of the night. He was definitely the driver of the night on Saturday, and he made a hard charge. We talked about Donnie being fast at Knoxville. He went plus 15, I believe, that night.
Yeah.
And that's something that you'll see out of Donnie at Knoxville. He does it during the Nationals. He when he gets rolling around there and they all get spread out, he'll make a hard charge and pick off guys one by one.
And he'll do it quietly too. You won't see it until you see at the scoreboard. He's like top 5 already.
All of a sudden Don's
he's already there.
5.
Like he's there. I'm like, whoa, where did Donnie come from? Like he just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So he's got that kind of like that magic in him that he just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But for my other hard charger was night 2 at Kokomo was Cale Drake with plus 10. He made an impressive run from where he started and then working all the way up to the front. Like 2 major runs in 2 nights at Kokomo with the midgets. It's just insane. Yeah. With Cale Drake and then Jacob Denny, they both just made an impressive show. Just moving up, battling with the front of the pack, and making the moves he did. Some guys came close. I think it was Denny and Grant in one. I think it was night 1, and I think they almost came up together and took each other out, but they came out unscathed and safe. So that was a close call by both of them, but it was a good race.
Yeah.
Cale Drake, he did all he could do to get up front, and he did what he did. So
talking about close calls, somebody had a few too close of calls, we'd say. We're going to talk about our hard luck, of this weekend. This guy is a local guy who comes from around here. He seemed to have a decent weekend to start with. And
with the midgets, he had a really good night. He had a really good night in the midgets. I think it was the first night in the midget, first night in both cars, because he had his 410 out there, which they weren't really televised. It was kind of like their divisional staging, thing there at Kokomo. So he ended up running both classes. He ended up getting into some trouble in, I think, one of the heat races or something like that. Ended up getting over his head upside down, which we never want anyone to happen. I believe that was the first night in the 410, I believe, in the 9-wing. I'm not too sure, but it was upsetting to see him go over
Yeah,
the way
so
it
Adam
happened.
Taylor Adam Taylor got our hard luck award for this weekend.
And I'm sure he'll be back out, the next weekend with that same car.
They have a good program going on over there. He has been very ambitious to go and do some of that non-wing 410 racing, and he has that midget program as well. So I'm sure he's going to be at a few more races here in the future. Definitely, I think he's going to be fast. If they figure out a couple of their little problems that they had, they said that they might have had some brake problems in the sprint car. Once they get some of that stuff figured out and some of that stuff, I guess, dealt with, I feel like he'll be one to watch in the near future.
Power, I think from converting over from a wingless 604 to now a 410 motor, I feel like it's got to be a big transition now.
Yeah,
with it, he's got to be a little bit more. I would say a little bit more faster because it's more, it's the speed with the 410 non-wing compared to the 604, a little bit more faster reaction time. So I think he's just got. I know he can. He's able to transition into it, so he can do it. I'm sure he can do it.
All right, so before we kind of get into like what this entire deal is going to turn into, let's talk about you start racing this week. I raced this past weekend. You start racing this week.
Yes, sir.
Are you excited for this? What are you thinking? Well, how are you feeling about this?
I think I said it to you a little bit earlier today. I'm excited, but also a little bit anxious, a little bit nerve-wracking a little bit just to get back into the race car for the first race because, a lot of new people are coming in and we don't really know, we may or may not know how they're going to react with other cars around them. Like they may be good at practice, but, getting other race cars around them, you never know how they're going to react, So it's just like that's another worry that we just have to worry about with coming in and, seeing these new drivers. And, we're always willing to help out and stuff with them, with them and, just figuring them out and getting to where they need to be. But yeah, I'm excited. I think that's 2026 is going to be, it's going to be a good year. I have a feeling it's going to be a good year. Racetracks we're going to, I feel like we're going to have really great success. We're getting 2 Illinois tracks out of the way right away in the month of May, so that's a good thing.
So where do you start at then?
We start Wilmot in Kenosha County this Saturday, and then the following weekend we're going to be at Sycamore with, I believe, the Midgets and the Legends. One of the two. I'm not too sure, but it's a pretty hectic 2 weekends right back to back, coming from Wilmot and then going right down to Illinois and the second weekend of May, which is kind of intense. But I got high hopes for this year. But how did you do on Saturday? Let's go. Let's turn it around on you. Let's see how did your night start on Saturday?
Well, it didn't start out exactly how we wanted to. We went out for qualifying and didn't necessarily qualify the greatest. Kind of went to we were mid-pack overall, but we're kind of the slowest in our group, so that put us behind the 8 ball a little bit. We rolled into our heat race starting 6th, ended up 5th, had 4th at one point in time, kind of messed up on the top and gave a position away, which kind of led me to having to run the B main. Had I probably kept that position, I would have made enough passing points to transfer straight to the feature, but I did not. So I had to start on the pole of the B main. They ended up watering the track right before we went out on the top. So the first guy to the top, generally, when we're out there like that, is probably going to get a jump on everybody, especially with the 360 deal. I knew that I had to kind of protect the bottom until somebody drove around me, and then from there I moved up. I ended up hitting the infield tire a little bit with the left front, which actually knocked some of the bolts somewhat loose in the steering arm.
Jeez, I bet you that was fun.
Yeah, so I was kind of a little worried as I was finishing that B main as I started to lose some steering as I was chasing down Bill Taylor, but overall still felt like the car was really good, with me kind of still losing the steering and whatever. Kind of kept the car the same. Moving into the feature, made just a few little changes. Started 18th, kind of got stuck on the top for a little bit. Didn't really want to chop anybody in the back right at the beginning. Not first night, not really worth it.
Yeah.
His first couple laps. Kind of fell back to 20th. Made my way back up to the 13th position with about 2 laps left. Kind of tried to make a maneuver when we had our green-white checkered. Grabbed a couple spots in 1 and 2, lost them back because I kind of had a push in 3 and 4, and just ended in 13th, went +5, so we're still happy with that. We went +1 in the heat race, +5 in the feature. Had I been able to maybe get to the top before in the B main, we were hoping to win that thing, but it kind of goes that way when it goes that way.
As long as you move forward, that's all that matters. You move forward, that's good. That's good. That means you're making progress.
Yeah, and kind of how the points played out was pretty good because we do get some extra points for passing points.
There you go.
I am currently 6th in points after the first night. So that's that's pretty
all
good.
Those passing points helped you in the feature.
I definitely didn't expect to be able to salvage what I would consider that good of a night to kind of maintain that sort of thing. But we'll take it.
Yeah, you gotta take
especially with us kind of being behind the 8 ball right out the beginning. To end the night, being able to accumulate a good amount of points to go towards our season is exactly what we need for this team to keep moving forward. So I felt pretty good about every little change that we made to the car throughout the night. And obviously the car's sitting right behind here. And we're going to get to work, and I'll be racing this week again at Plymouth. It's just going to be another local night. We have quite a few other cars. You were talking about some rookies with the non-wing deal. We have quite a few rookies with the 360s as well. We ended up having 31 cars at the racetrack this past weekend. So our 360 program is
getting bigger.
Is getting back to where it was just a couple years ago, and it's really nice to see that we there's a lot of younger kids that obviously are going to learn their way and kind of learn what sprint car racing is about, but it's really nice to see that there's some young talent that's stepping up to the plate and starting to learn how to do this as well.
It's always good to see these younger generation drivers come up and drive what we do and do what we do, and it's good because they learn, they look up to you.
Yeah, and as you see, like some of the older drivers, kind of like my father and some guys even older than him, start to kind of step back from the wheel. You need that
in order that mentor.
Yeah, and you need those guys to start to become mentors to new people that are coming in.
Yes.
And to be able to see more guys coming in, that's all we could ask for. Granted, it is competition, and it doesn't matter if I was racing against you. I still want to beat you just as bad as everybody else.
Yep.
But it's really good to see more people getting involved and showing up at the racetrack.
Always is.
So that's going to kind of wrap up that part of it. We'll talk a little bit for a minute here about what we have going forward. So obviously we kind of have our little format that we had at the beginning, and we're going to kind of stick to those questions. We're going to get more in depth week by week as we learn what we're watching for and what we really think might interest you guys. And we're going to create conversation with it. Who knows, maybe at some point in time we'll get some other guys in here to talk to them. And I don't know, I really like this idea that me and Seth have of kind of giving you guys an update. Once the IRA starts as well, we're going to have some updates for those guys.
Yeah, we'll be with them Saturday, so I'll be able to do the update. I'll be able to watch them and see how everything goes on Saturday.
Yeah, and we'll start to do some updates with the MSA as well. We'll make sure to get some of those feature winners and some of those guys named off as well. So as we, do more of these videos and get more acclimated with doing this sort of thing, we're going to be able to give you guys more information.
Yeah, keeps giving you more and more and stuff, and obviously we'll have like conversations. We'll talk about each other's races over the weekend, and we'll just do just little random conversations here and there, just to kind of create a little comedy, a little funny here and there, or whatever we want to do. But we'll get going to where we want to be.
Yeah. So that's going to be the end of this first episode of the TNS Racing Podcast.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you guys if you stayed all the way until the end.
Yes.
If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you give it a like and share it with your friends. Let everybody know that, we got it going on over here. Me and Seth are going to be talking about some good stuff. Keep your eyes open because, we're pretty involved in the racing industry, and we can see things happening maybe before some other people can, simply because this is what we do all the time. Yeah. So we're going to use that capability to kind of help you guys be educated and kind of share our knowledge with you. So like I said, if you guys like this, feel free to give it a like and share with your friends. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, deuces.